Welcome to the Haven Hubcast, a place to learn what business leaders, owners, and professionals are doing to navigate and grow in today's market. Hear from industry experts on everything from marketing, leadership, financing, and more. Brought to you by Haven, a co-working space where you can connect, create, and get stuff done.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Haven Hubcast. I'm Nancy Sheed, your host, and I'm going to say giddy, and thankful to be here with my friend, Christine Oleynick. Christine is a realtor with Keller Williams here in the Fairfield County area. She's also a really good friend who I knew well before Haven, so this is a treat to get to spend time with you today. Welcome, Christine.
Well, thank you so much. And it's such a treat to be on. Thank you for asking me. I'm thrilled.
A treat and a pleasure for me. So Christine, as we mentioned, is a realtor, but the way that Christine and I met, we were just discussing this, goes back, I'm going to say years. It might even be double-digit years.
It may.
Back in the days when you were organizing and founding the What Women Want organization in this area. But, so I didn't even know that you were a realtor at that time. But before we get into sort of that, can you take us back, Christine? Like, I always like to hear people's story, right? Like, back in college, what did you dream of being? And hearing how your kind of trajectory or circuitous route led to you to what you're doing now.
Well, that's a great question. So back in college, I actually wanted to get into the fashion world. And my father, who worked for IBM, said, nope. You could do that for fun, but I want you to take business classes. And I took some advertising and marketing classes and just fell in love with those classes. And once I graduated, I was fortunate enough to have a best friend whose father worked in the advertising industry in New York City. So through that connection, I worked at a great advertising agency called NWR for years and years, and was on some really fun accounts. And was living in New York City at the time. And then later I got married and moved back to Connecticut, where I'm originally from, and then was selling advertising out here for some local cable networks, which I loved. I loved being out in the community and being with people. And it was really, really a great, fun job. And then I got married, got pregnant, and just because of one of my kids, who's totally fine, needed to not be involved in that corporate 9-to-5 job anymore. So I was helping some local businesses with their marketing and with their event planning. And I could do that while raising my boys. And also was asked to run the Fairfield County What Women Want networking events, which I loved. And it gave me a chance to, use my advertising and marketing skills and get women together and to do something fun in the community. So I used to have events once or twice a month at great local businesses and really loved, again, that sense of community and just meeting people and having it be a natural relationship evening for people to learn and meet other people. And then when the kids got a little bit older, I was like, okay, I want kind of something else to do. And oddly enough, in that same week, when I was kind of looking elsewhere, I got 2 phone calls from 2 different real estate agents asking to hire me to do their marketing and their event planning for their open houses. And my mom was a real estate agent years ago, so it was always in the back of my head. And after the second phone call, I hung up the phone. I said to my husband, I'm getting my real estate license.
Yes!
I'm going to market my own listings and host my own open houses. And that was 9 years ago. And I love it. I love it so much. Again, I love being with the people and bringing people together to buy and sell in Fairfield County.
I love that. And like I said, it was just, when we met, I mean, you might have been a realtor at the time, you didn't, but
I wasn't.
That was the connection. I was like, who is this spectacular person who's organizing these really fun events, bringing, super fun people together? So, and I'm sure that network served you well, kind of shifting into real estate or becoming a realtor. But what I really love and appreciate, Christine, about you is I don't think of you as a realtor first. I just think of you as a fun person with great resources and ideas and building community. So can you talk a little bit more about like how you approach your marketing or how you approach your community building, as opposed to thinking about a list or, who your clients are? How do you approach it? What do you think of?
That's a great question. And it's more, I love, again, being out there in the community. So a lot of my little videos and things that I send out are all about, what are the great things? Yesterday I did, why do you love Fairfield County? And I listed, the top things that I love about Fairfield County. And I try to me, it's all about those natural connections and trying to be that resource and that help for people who are trying to buy and sell, but it's much more than that. It's helping people in the community make the connections. Oh, you need a new painter. I know a new painter. Or you need somebody to help you move. I know somebody who can help you move. Yesterday, I just introduced two totally different business women, put them together. They're now thinking about starting their own little business. And that's what I love is those natural relationships and from that, just helping others. And that's why I love Haven so much. It's such a great place where all the women and men want to help each other and we all learn and grow from each other. And that's kind of what I thrive on.
And I was going to say, you even go beyond Fairfield County. Like I remember, this may have even been pre-COVID, but that people leave Fairfield County. So you started connecting with real estate agents across the country to sort of interview them to learn about, okay, if you're leaving somewhere, let me make connections for you in other marketplaces. That was just so smart. Sideline, you talked to my sister, but that was, but I just thought that is such a clever idea that you're not so focused on your business, your world, and just Fairfield County.
Well, thank you. That really was a fun idea that I had during COVID. And so many people were leaving Fairfield County and going down to South Carolina and to Tennessee and to Florida. And I thought, well, gosh, and I was new to Keller Williams at the time. So I wanted to meet other agents around the country that I could send them referrals to and get to know them and really, put a name and a face and say, I'm going to give you this referral. And I actually know them. So I figured, why not do a Zoom, obviously, and learn about them and learn about their area and try to help them get business. But it was helping my clients as well.
We talked about your videos. And I think also back in the day, you had me come speak about, I think it was social media or LinkedIn. And back in the day when everybody, had to do social media. And you, Christine, have just embraced it in a very authentic way. And you haven't made it seem scary. You haven't made it seem perfect and polished and produced. What advice either did you get or what advice would you give? Or when you're going in and, making your videos or creating your posts and using social media, what are kind of your guiding principles that help you?
Well, God, I loved everything that you just said because my first videos, you will see I started one winter and I have hats on, glasses on so that nobody could see what I look like because, I wasn't in hair and makeup half the day. And I was so embarrassed, as everybody gets so embarrassed in front of their first videos, literally the more you do it, and I still get nervous. So, I've been on News 12 a couple times and I'm still nervous as can be, even when I do my own videos. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I'm the only one who really cares that, maybe I don't look perfect that day or far from it. And like you said, I use my camera. I don't have a microphone. I don't have headphones. It's just my camera and a tripod. And I just hit play and it goes.
I love it. I love it. Tell me, what have you, if you don't mind me asking, what's either been the most successful or what has been surprising? Like I always find that I'd say pictures that actually have me or animals in it, right? Versus some well-crafted caption works better. What works for you?
Well, you know what? It's always funny. Always the personal ones and the ones that have a story are definitely the best. Last year, a client gave me an Hermes gift and I took a picture of the box. Now, granted, it's a beautiful box because it's from Hermes. And that was all I posted on Instagram. But then I told this story. It's actually, she was the doctor who delivered my twins. And 20 years later, I was selling her home. So I told that story, and that by far had the biggest impact of anything that I posted. So it wasn't even a video. It was just a picture of a box with a really
Well, the
good
great
story.
story.
Yeah.
That kind of feeds into what we were also talking about before. The headlines we're recording in February, but the headlines were coming out today that all of these people who went into real estate and thought they were going to get the quick fix or they were going to get this jump into a career and make all this money are suddenly leaving, as we're coming out of COVID and mortgage rates are incredibly high. And it's the long-term players that will stick it out. But you talking about, you have built community and you have stories to tell. How do you think that differentiates you, or, what are you seeing in the marketplace right now?
So we saw so many new agents come into this marketplace, all over, because certainly in this marketplace, everybody was leaving New York City and people were buying homes. I mean, everybody read the news, but it was sight unseen. It was over ask. I mean, you couldn't keep up with all the transactions that you had, yet those times we're not going to see again. I mean, now it's a totally different market, and it's normalizing from pre-pandemic levels. And real estate is a very, very, very hard job, and it's 24/7, and it's so easy to get your license. It really shouldn't be as easy as it is.
I say the same thing about boating licenses. You never have to go out on a boat and show somebody you know how to operate it and you can get a boating license. That's a slight aside, but there you go.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I got mine, my license in 6 weeks and paid $500. Yeah, you have to pass a test, but it should be a lot harder than it is. But it really isn't. And it's so important to know that going in, and you need to have a network, behind you of people that know you and like you and trust you and really know the market and be that knowledgeable real estate agent that anybody can go to at any time to ask any questions. And you brought up the market and the super high mortgage rates, which, yes, they are so much higher than they were last year, but everybody has to keep that in perspective. The higher the mortgage rates, the lower the home prices. So be careful out there, you buyers who want the lower interest rates, then home prices are going to skyrocket again. And then we're going to see the over asking and the bidding wars. So experts agree that, mortgage rates are going to stay at about 6% for now, which isn't outrageous. The national 50-year average is 8.5%. So we're still below that. And you know what? We tell our buyers, find out what you can comfortably afford and then look for homes within that criteria.
Love that. Great advice. You had a funny quote about also just how easy it is to get in, how, to have the community. You obviously have also the expertise, but I think it was the other thing, like this lifestyle, right? Like, oh, it's so flexible. Oh, it's so great. But this article you and I were both looking at was like, people were surprised. Oh, being on call all the time. Like, I thought this would be better than being a school teacher. And you're like, no, you are in the service business, right? Like, you got to have service, expertise, knowledgeable, on call, right?
Absolutely. You are on call 24/7. I mean, it's crazy. Now I set boundaries, healthy boundaries. I don't get phone calls at 10 p.m. anymore, but I did when I started because I was, that was kind of my motto. I'll be here for anybody. But you know what? Clients are people too. They understand that maybe you can't talk at 10 p.m. when you're raising kids and have a husband. So it's all about setting those boundaries, but it's a very hard business to get into and to, make it very profitable.
I love that. You mentioned Haven, which is sort of comes full circle, that you and I met in a community of women. And now we're circling back and on behalf of Haven. And again, it has similar model. Like, it would have been fun if it was around back when you were doing the What Women Want, right? Like, you were basically creating it. You just didn't have the gorgeous space.
Exactly.
What are the things you most enjoy about Haven, or things that you give back? Like, I find there's always a give and take with the Haven community. So what's that experience look like for you?
Absolutely. Well, it's so perfect for me because I had to leave What Women Want when I started my real estate business. I just couldn't do both of them well anymore. So right after that, Haven started, which was great. So that's how I know so many of the Haven members through my What Women Want, which is really great. It's such a friendly place for people to make those connections, build relationships. And as I said before, everybody seems so helpful and so there to help each other and to grow from each other. I love being part of their masterminds and love hearing their guest speakers. I'm hoping one day that, I can be a speaker there as well, or just going to some of their happy hours or their coffees. I mean, they're just opening and welcoming and just a great space to do that, natural networking, but again, to help each other.
And you and I are people. And I think the working alone at home is also one of the bonuses, is you just forget what it's like to be, working around with people, just even in the day-to-day boring behind the scenes stuff, when we could do it at home, but it's nice to do it with people there.
It really is.
Christy, thank you so much for your time. Tell our listeners, if they are interested in connecting with you and learning more about your expertise and your, realtor or any of those things, what's the best way to connect with you?
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me on. I could talk to you forever. So I really, really enjoyed this. The best way to connect with me is email, which is christineo@kw.com, or you can find me on social media, Christine Finch Oleynick. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter.
We didn't even talk about the TikTok. Okay.
No, I don't dance, so don't be looking for me dancing on TikTok, but yes.
We'll put all of those links in the show notes. Christine, thank you again. This was a treat. And next time we're going to have coffee or a drink when we see each other in person. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Haven Hubcast, a place to learn what business leaders and owners are doing to navigate and grow in today's market. Please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Haven is a co-working space and virtual community located in the heart of Fairfield County, Connecticut. Haven is a hub for business owners and professionals to connect, create, and get stuff done. Find out more about the Haven community online at haven.com. That's HAYVN.com. Haven Hubcast is produced by Sound Advice Strategies.